Friends, movies recapped here. Today I am going to explain the movie called The Day After Tomorrow, 2004. Guys, just imagine that one day suddenly such a storm comes on our earth, which destroys whoever comes in front of it. Whether it is big buildings or the sea. We will see something similar in today's movie, The Day After Tomorrow. In the beginning of the movie, we see Antarctica. Let us see where three scientists have come to take samples of the ice there. Jack is there with his two colleagues, Jason and his friend. Suddenly the surface starts breaking and the ice starts melting, and due to which a huge trench is formed, and in the same trench Jason was about to fall inside, but the other two save him, and they see that the surface of Antarctica starts breaking apart. Seeing this, all three of them are quite surprised as to how this can happen. In the next scene we see that Delhi is in global. There is a UN conference about warming, where Jack warns everyone about the coming danger. He says that due to global warming, the temperature of the earth is increasing a lot. And if we do not do anything about it, then in the coming 100 or 200 years, in a few years, big glaciers and mountains like the Himalayas will melt and merge into the sea tomorrow, due to which the weather will change drastically and a fierce storm will come, due to which our earth will be destroyed. But the vice president of the US is ignoring his words and wants to focus on his economy. It is said that Jack goes out and meets Professor Terry Reedson, who is a very famous oceanographer. Terry praises Jack and agrees with him. Next day we see that it was raining heavily in Tokyo. People were doing their normal routine on this beach. We were following when suddenly huge balls of snow started falling from the sky, which created a lot of commotion among the people. These balls of snow were so big that people started dying due to their fall. After this we see Jack with his son Sam. Sam has to go to New York for a quiz competition, for which Jack goes to drop him at the airport. While some astronauts see from the space satellite that a strange storm has started increasing in size on the Earth. Here in the plane, we see Sam, who is the plane with friends Laura and Brian, enters a storm and starts shaking a lot, but somehow you get out safely. Here in Scotland Weather Research Center, we see that Terry gets signals that the temperature of many parts of the sea is rising very fast. He is falling and realizes that Jack's theory was correct. When Sam and his friends arrive in the vicinity, they see that a large number of birds are moving to some other place. Sam is quite surprised to see not only this, but also some animals from a zoo. Perhaps the coming storm was anticipated. Here a quizster takes place where students from many schools had participated. A boy from one of these schools flirts with J.D. Laura, due to which Sam becomes jealous. Sam likes Laura, and there is no interest in the quiz. He just went there to spend time with Lada. In the next scene we see that Terry calls Jack late at night and tells him that his theory is absolutely correct, because there is a lot of wind in the Atlantic Ocean. The temperature is falling, due to which a lot of destruction is going to happen. Jack gets quite surprised by this because he thought that this would happen after 100 or 200 years. After this, we see that very big snowballs started falling in the Los Angeles, and at the same time, a lot of tornadoes were created in the city. These tornadoes caused destruction in the entire city. Many people are killed. News reporters were covering the news. Many big buildings also got shattered in them. It happens. There is a conference here in which Toom, who is the assistant to the vice president, talks to all the scientists and weather experts. Canada also has a similar situation. Air pressure has increased a lot in Siberia. Australia too. A fierce storm consultant is going, who tells everyone that the ocean current has changed, due to which the entire ecosystem has become imbalanced. And due to this humans will have to face many such changes in the weather. Jack tells Tom that he has to stop the government from, but Tom asks her to get the proof first so that she can convince the president. Joe, who is a member of NASA, decides to help her. Let's see Tom, who is a doctor, finds his patient, Peter, who is a child, suffering from tumor. Brucey takes great care of him. Jack takes his report and meets the vice president and tells him that the weather is changing in a terrible way, and in a few days it will take a more severe form. He tells the vice president to get them to evacuate the cities. An order should be given. But the vice president blatantly ignores his warning. Jack says that the northern states are in greatest danger, but the vice president does not trust him at all. Here in New York, Sam and his friends shelter at BJD's house. They had come to pick them up because all the students were trapped in the school. They bravely set out through the stormy beach to rescue the British royal family at Teen Chowk. But suddenly their fuel freezes, and their chopper also freezes, falling on the ground. Not only this, but all the soldiers who were inside it also become completely statuesque. Terry gives this news to Jack and tells him that suddenly the temperature crossed -150. Jack, Scotland. He sees data from which H comes to New York due to heavy rains. The water level had started rising. Jury says that his younger brother studies in boarding school, and his brother will have to be saved. All these people came out on the streets of Navy. Tahoe had started filling with water. Here people had started taking shelters in a public library. All the taxis were stopped on the roads. But Laura sees that a girl is trapped in a pond, and she goes back to save her. Very few people have any idea that the ocean water is coming towards them in the form of a tsunami. All the water flows from the seeds of the city and takes away all the people. Even Kisame was about to get hit by this water. Sam saves him in time and takes him inside the library. Jack shows the data to Terry and tells him how many hurricanes will be there in the next 24. He tells Terry to get out of Scotland, but Terry knows it's too late. Here in the public library, a lot of people had survived. Laura tells him she says thanks for saving him. After this, Sam goes to look for the phone and finds his wife Lucer. They were not able to contact their son, but suddenly they get a call from Sam, who tells them that they are safe in a public library. Sam, when he was about to drown in the water, Jack tells him that this storm is moving very fast towards them. It is such a dangerous storm that it will completely freeze anything that comes in its path. He warns him not to go out under any circumstances and keep yourself warm. Jack promises Sam that he will come to get him. Sam sinks completely under the water while listening to his father. But suddenly he comes out of the water and is a complete disaster. She gives him clothes and makes him wear tight clothes so that his body gets warm, and it started snowing outside. And this scene was very scary when a huge ship passes in front of their library building. Everyone is surprised to see this. When the situation started worsening again, Jack is called by the president, where Jack explains that this storm will cover the entire North Hemisphere and freeze it in ice. This storm will last for 8 to 10 days, after which the earth will slowly start balancing itself. When Jack is asked what should be done in this situation, he says that people should be sent as far south as possible. The vice president still stands his ground, but the president was convinced by Jack's words. He draws a line and says that people should be evacuated from below as much as possible, and it is too late for those who are in the north. Vice president tells the president that we cannot evacuate half the country on the advice of a mad scientist. But after all in this, the president orders to evacuate the southern states. Here in the public library, when everyone sees that the snow has frozen the water outside and it is possible to walk in the snow, then they all come out of the library and decide to leave the city. He forbids his friend from doing so, and everyone else also understands that the storm has not stopped yet. Going out is not without danger because the storm is coming soon, which will freeze everyone. But only a few people believe his words, and everyone else goes out from there. Jack leaves from here to rescue his son and starts going towards Nevio. Then his Jason and Frank also decide to go with him. Now all the people of US also cross the border. They started moving towards Mexico because very soon the storm will hit the US. This Russian hospital was also empty. His colleague tells him that she has called Peter's ambulance, but it has not come yet. She tells him to go with her, but the Russians refuse to let Peter leave the fort and decide to stay put. Sam and his friends start a fire in the library and start burning books to keep the room warm. Barhan tells us that the entire northern hemisphere is covered in ice. It is covered, and he does not think that Sam's father will be able to reach there. But Sam is confident that his father will reach there under any circumstances. The people who had left Rye and set out on foot were also slowly dying. Here Jack's car is frozen. While walking, she collides with a bus, and they decide to follow her on foot. They were walking when Jason suddenly falls through the ice. Actually, these people were walking on top of a mole, due to which the glass broke. It seems as if he falls down, but all three of them were connected to the rope. So it seems as if they do not fall but remain hanging due to his weight. So Jason gives the rope card to save Frank and Jay and sacrifices himself. Jack and Frank are very sad about this. Here Lucy, who was with Peter, suddenly hears some noise from outside. She goes outside and sees that an ambulance and team are coming to take them. Lucy has arrived and feels quite relieved by this. On the other hand, Sam sees with horror that Lotta had a very high fever, and a beautiful affair takes place on the beach of both of them. Everyone except the president is in the refugee camp of Mexico. People had reached there, and there was news. When she went to go, she got hurt, due to which she got infection, and due to fever. She also has infection. They did not have medicine to treat her. But Sam says that the sheep outside will definitely have medicine inside it. On the other side, we let's see that the astronauts see this terrible scene from the satellite and send these photos to the Senate. The Senate shows those photos to Tom and says that this storm is very big, which has already covered Asia and Europe, and in an hour it will hit Nevio. Here, while walking in the snow, Frank suddenly becomes unconscious, and there, Sam, JD, and Brand, who were going out to find medicine in the ship, enter inside the ship, which had completely melted the snow. They follow some beatus and also enter inside the ship. They go to escape from a zoo. They get the medicine inside the ship, but the wolves surround them. Sam cleverly distracts the wolves by hitting them through a window, and the other two also come out of Shiv. On the other hand, Jack is also Frank. He was pulling his friend when suddenly he sees that a snowstorm is moving towards him, which will freeze him. He throws his friend from a roof into a room, and after going inside, he quickly locks the door and lights a fire there. Sam and others also get scared. We quickly go inside the library. Whatever comes in the storm freezes very fast. After reaching inside the library, Sam quickly closed the door and threw a lot of books in the fire to increase the heat in the room. The next morning, when friend Curtis then he sees that he is with Jack in a room. They see that many people had died due to snow. While walking, it becomes night. Both of them set up a tent and stop at a place. Then Frank tells Jack that he thinks that Sam would not have been able to escape yet. The astronauts see from the satellite that the storm is slowly starting to clear. In the morning, when Jack and Frank go out of their tent, when they go out, they see that the weather had now cleared, but the entire city was buried under a huge sheet of snow. The ship was also buried under the snow. They go ahead with the help of their device, where they find the library, which was buried under the snow. They go inside where Sam and everyone else were safe in the hot room. Jack hugs his son on the other side of the tomb. The new president told Raymond that he has received Jack's signal. Hearing this, he is happy and sends the team to save them. After this, we are shown that the weather is slowly improving. Also now being the new president, he gives a speech in which he accepts his mistake of not giving the warning. Sevier did not take it. He says that the countries which we considered very small in front of us, today it is they who helped us when the time came. Tom takes them to Jack and everyone else, and they are very surprised to see him, and all of them are shocked. They sit in the plane. They see that many of these people were still alive, standing on their building. The rest of the toppers come to take their lives. Now they see the astronauts from the satellite, and till date, they have never seen the Earth so clean. That is why today it is the movie ends. Friends, from this movie we understand how dangerous global warming can prove to be for the world. If we disturb nature, we will have to suffer the consequences in the future. You comment and tell us how we humans are today. We are indirectly destroying the Earth. Hence, how long will we be able to survive? And if you liked the video, then do like it.